Thanks again for joining us here on another edition of Pigskin Preview from Wings to Go. I'm Dave Ruthenberg, sports editor from the Enid News Eagle. And as he does every week, our own gridiron guru is joining us, Brian Hacker from Wings to Go.
Hey, how you doing today, Dave?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome.
Yeah, we had another exciting week. I can't believe we're already into the fifth week of the high school football season, and we got Enid hosting Owasso this week after a nice win, 40-14 over Ponca City.
Yeah, they go to Ponca City. They take care of business exactly like they were supposed to. Started out a little slow, but they finished well. The second string got a chance to play and really get a chance to now focus on district and your tough matchup. You've got Owasso and Union in district that have winning records, and you've got Owasso coming to your house this week.
Yeah, Owasso's a very solid team. I mean, they played a tough schedule. They've already had to deal with Broken Arrow and Jenks this season, so they're ready for the game. In Enid, again, they got off to a little slow start last week, but again, it was good to get off to that 15-point district win, which is really important to get those 15 points in district play.
Huge. Yeah, 15 points in district play. They're actually tied with Union right now in district for first place, which is tremendous. When Owasso comes to town, Owasso's a three-pronged attack. I've done a lot of research on Owasso. They have Kason Key, their quarterback. He's throwing for 185 yards a game. He's throwing those passes, the majority, to Lindsay. Lindsay's scoring 3 touchdowns against Bartlesville. He scored a touchdown against Jenks. The only touchdown was a pass from Key. And you've also got Prelo at running back, who's averaging 130 yards a game.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to see a little bit of everything from Owasso. And what we've seen, though, is Enid's had the ability to shut down some passing games. So if they can shut that down and turn them into a one-dimensional attack, I think they're going to be well on their way. But I think this is going to be a tough battle for Enid. There's no doubt about it.
This is going to be a slobber knocker. People are going to come in and go out and support Enid this week. This is going to be a game where you want to go watch. This has a chance to put Enid on the map. They're ranked 8th or 9th this week in AP.
Yeah, they're 6th in AP. So this is going to be a pretty solid test to see if they deserve that ranking and if they maybe move up a little higher this week.
Yeah, support Enid to get out there and beat my alma mater, Owasso.
All right. Okay, the next game we're going to take a look at this week, Brian, is going to be the battle at Pioneer as they welcome in a very tough Okeene squad.
Okeene 4-0, number 7 in coach's aid. Pioneers are the tough stretch of schedule right now. They had OBA, they had Cashin, now they've got Okeene. Okeene's not as strong as they have been, but they're still 4-0 and ranked number 7.
Yeah, the Whippets are still racking up the points. I see in 4 games they've scored 160 points, so they can score, and they've only given up 27 points, so it's going to be a tough match. Now, last week Pioneer took on Cashin. Now that's a strong team, and they really didn't, 65-35 looks bad, but I don't think they embarrassed themselves at all in that game. No,
they're holding well against the upper echelon of their class, and I think the Pioneer, it's a growing season, but I think they're doing a good job. I mean, with OBA, they held them well. Cashin, Okeene's going to come in, they're going to have a great chance.
They are, and like you mentioned, they played some tough competition, so it's going to be another test. They play the Whippets tough. We're going to see, I think, Pioneer continue to improve all season.
I agree. Good luck, Pioneer. Let's go out and get them this week.
OBA is traveling to Beaver. OBA coming off a nice 51-20 victory over Moreland. Beaver's an undefeated squad. Another tough matchup.
OBA has a Beaver 4-0. They beat Turpin, who is a good team.
Right.
Who's 3-1. They haven't had much other competition other than that. But Beaver's going to be a good competition because you've got to go a long ways on the road for OBA.
Right.
And it's funny how those bus rides turn into interesting football games.
Yeah, they do. And yeah, you're right. OBA has got some serious road trips for them this year, and that's just another one of them. I think we've seen a lot out of OBA. They're still ranked number 2 in both the AP and Coach's Aid rankings. I think they're number 1 myself. I guess if they come with a nice big win here on the road, it'd be hard to deny them that number 1 ranking.
It'll be hard to deny them that number 1 ranking, but at the same time, you have to beat number 1 to be number 1.
That's right.
Unfortunately, they're not going to meet number 1 until the playoffs.
That's right. I would expect them both to meet in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Good luck to OBA. I think this is going to be a game that's going to be a real deciding kind of momentum kind of game for them.
I agree, and your helmet goes here.
All right, next up on our look across the area for high school football are the Chisholm Longhorns, a team that is still looking for its first win of the season and got shut out last week against Oklahoma Christian 48-0.
Yeah, they got shut out at home against Oklahoma Christian. Chisholm scored 12 points on the season. They're having a little bit of a struggle. What I get from talking to a lot of Chisholm coaches and a lot of Chisholm backers and such is the JV is good. And the JV is really a lot of the varsity guys. They're a young team, so they're getting to play both. And the JV team is holding up well against other JV teams that they're playing in the area. So I think Chisholm, you got a great future. Got to get through this season. Guys, go out and play your hardest, get some experience, get some learning, and move on down the road.
Yeah, the future looks bright for the Longhorns, and just kind of get through this tough stretch, and I think they're going to wind up okay a little later in the season, even possibly.
Exactly.
All right, we got another big game here in the area. That one that's going to, I think, be a real knockdown drag-out. Covington Douglas, ranked number 2, I believe, is taking on Timberlake, ranked number 7. A couple of undefeated teams.
A couple of undefeated teams who Covington Douglas is strong. They are the power of Class C. Timberlake, you're going to a college atmosphere right there, Kevin Douglas. You're going to go out there. It's going to be a raucous atmosphere. People in their cars, tailgating, old-fashioned barbecue grills, and you're going to be playing a real good football team. If you look at Timberlake's roster, there's only about 16 or 17 names on there, but man, those guys will hit you in the mouth.
Oh yeah, they play like they're 11 out on the field. They really do. I had a chance to watch them a little bit, and I'm very impressed. Both of these teams, very impressive. How about this? Covington Douglas is winning their games by an average margin of 53-15. Timberlake 53-12. 53-12,
53-15. I did a lot of research on these two teams, and we can go up and down all day long, and you can go tit for tat, man. That's going to be a real hardcore 8-man game. If you don't want to go watch Owasso and Enid, get out to Timberlake, Helena, tailgate, and watch a heck of an 8-man game this week.
You won't be disappointed. All right, let's move on into the college ranks, Brian, and we got 3, but we got 2 very interesting matchups this week. Why don't we talk about the Thursday night matchup first? Oklahoma State and Texas A&M.
2 teams undefeated right now. Both of them haven't really played a real difficult team. I would say Troy is probably the toughest team in the 2 schedules, and OSU had a tough time with Troy at home. So A&M's coming on the road.
That's right.
In their last game last week, had a tough time with Florida International. I mean, they were losing to Florida International into the 4th quarter. So this is going to be a heck of a Thursday night game.
Yeah, I think what this has shown, too, is that teams no longer can take any other team for granted. And I think Texas A&M got caught with Florida International looking that way, and I think Oklahoma State, even though they should have known better, weren't taking Troy as seriously as they should have either.
Right. Yeah, and Texas A&M is going to come into Stillwater. They're going to be a balanced attack. They're averaging 230 in rushing, 215 in passing, or vice versa. They're a very balanced attack. What I see on the other side of Texas A&M is they're not giving up a lot of rush yards. Now, OSU, as you know, has a pretty darn good running back for them. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can shut him down and take OSU into a one-dimensional attack. If OSU can stay two-dimensional, it's going to be a heck of a shootout. And for 30 wings for the price of 20 at Wings to Go, you need to get out here and watch that game.
We also 3 keys, I think, for Oklahoma State. And I agree, that's a good deal. Brandon Whedon, Kendall Hunter, who you mentioned as a running back, and Justin Blackman. 3 potential players that can have breakout games, and if 2 of those 3 have a good game, I think the Oklahoma State's going to put it to Texas A&M a little bit.
I agree, and what I'm looking at is I look at the averages on offenses and defenses. What I see is Vegas only has this as a 3-point favorite for OSU. That's basically a home field advantage. Yes. They see these teams on a neutral field being an even matchup, so it's going to be a heck of a game and a great time to watch it.
I never doubt Vegas. They seem to always know something.
Yeah, and that's what I try to watch. So the Thursday night, what time is kickoff? 7 or 7:30?
Yeah.
Be a great time at Wings to go to watch.
There you go. Hey, now, the Red River rivalry is this Saturday. Oklahoma, Texas, battling it out. And 2 teams that, you watched that game last week for Oklahoma when they barely got by Cincinnati 31-29, and you start going, well, boy, they're going to have a tough time against Texas. But here comes Texas and gets blown out at home by UCLA.
By a UCLA team that's really down this year. I mean, they're not very strong this year. I saw them get blown out by Stanford. I saw K-State give them a good beating. I think that Texas maybe hasn't shown the playbook, but I think they kind of opened up against UCLA, and they didn't open very well.
That's right.
It's going to be OU's going to come out. That's one of those games you take all the records, you take all the stats, you take everything, throw it out the window. You go down to Dallas, you have a party, and whoever comes out of the game wins. It's a good time. I think OU has got the better team this year, but it's whether they show up and play that way.
Yeah, exactly. Are they going to play like the Oklahoma we've seen, or the other Oklahoma we've seen against teams like Cincinnati? And that's going to be the key, I think. And you're right. You throw those records out. Well, you throw them right in the Red River is where you throw them. Is what you do, because it means nothing. These 2 teams don't like each other. and this rivalry goes back. The supporters of both teams don't like each other. There's a lot of dislike, and we're going to see a lot of that taken out on the field.
I was seeing Red River rivalry shirts. The horns upside down, the OU's upside down. I saw those on Sunday. It's already started. So Saturday at 2:30. Yeah, wings to go. You got wings. You got happy hour starts at 3. Refreshments are very cheap, and a good time and a great crowd.
Absolutely. And there's another team here in the state of Oklahoma playing a little football Saturday, and that's Tulsa. And they got back on the winning track a little bit. They beat Central Arkansas 41-14, and so now they're 2-2. They're welcoming in a 1-3 Memphis team. This is not the same Memphis that we've seen in the last couple of years. The same kind of Memphis team. They had a D'Angelo Williams running for them. I think this is a game that Tulsa is going to be able to pick up a conference victory in.
I agree. The issue with Tulsa has been defense. Continue to work. Your offense is going to score points. You're going to hang those 40 and 41s.
Yeah.
Tulsa's going to play that game. First one to 40 is going to win.
That's right.
But the defense has got to show up and do something to stop that. Keep people in the teens and the 20s. And Memphis is one of those teams that Tulsa should be able to do that to.
I agree. They've given up, in their games 49 points 2 weeks in a row. And then they picked up their only win against Middle Tennessee. So, again, I see, like you just mentioned, a lot of scoring. The scoreboard is going to get a workout. Let's hope they've checked the light bulbs and they're all fresh and ready to go, because we're going to see a high-scoring game there.
I agree. Tulsa should come out with a victory, though.
Absolutely.